Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for coming here today. An eagerly awaited press conference. It's been a little while coming, but we now know Tyson, as the poster says behind me, he's back. Going to be fighting at the Manchester Arena on the 9th of June. Great, I think, for British boxing, for heavyweight boxing in particular. We're delighted to see that Tyson's back. And he's signed a deal with, of course, the man sitting on my left, Frank Warren, who will be the promoter of June's event. Frank.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming here and thank you for your patience. Anyway, we're here now, and I'm delighted that Tyson will be fighting, John said, on the 9th of June at the MEN Arena in Manchester. Tickets will be on sale today. 0844 847 8000. So if you want your tickets, you better be quick. It's his comeback fight. He's been out the ring. It's been a long journey for him. He's been through some trials and tribulations, but the fighter that he is shows you what he wants, what he needs, and what he's longing for, and that's to win his titles back in the ring. He's in magnificent condition, and he's still got a while to go. So it's going to be a journey where Tyson has to get the ring rust out. That's going to take a few fights. He's not going to be rushed. I'm not going to let it happen. Any opponents are opponents that I'm going to pick, and it's going to be a situation where we get him into a position to challenge for the world titles, the titles that he never lost in the ring, and that is going to be done when he's 100% ready mentally and physically to do so. A lot of people may think he could do that right now, but I want it to be concrete. I want him to be at his best, because whoever he's fighting is going to be at their best, and they have the advantage of being active over the last 2 years. So that's the journey, and that journey starts on the 9th of June. We've got a cracking show that we're putting on in Manchester. We'll announce the details of all those fights tomorrow, including a world title fight. As I say, for us, I'm delighted to be involved with Tyson. I was worked with him in the past on many occasions, and I think in the early days I wasn't such a believer in him, but when he fought my guy at the time, Derek Chisori, totally convinced me he was going to win the world title when he took him to school. He's a great fighter. He's a smart boxer. He's a clever boxer. I think he's the smartest heavyweight out there. I think he's the best heavyweight fighter on his day. And all it is, and all he needs now is to get himself back into fighting fit condition, and then he can go and get back what I believe are rightfully his.
We'll hear from Tyson in just a moment. But Frank, as a promoter, I mean, I said when I was introducing, exciting for boxing, exciting for the heavyweights particularly. And for you personally, you must be delighted that you've managed to put together a deal with Tyson.
Well, I'm very delighted. I mean, I like Tyson, and and I like to think we've had a good relationship in the past. But it's great for boxing. You've got some good fights out there, and they're probably the biggest fights in boxing. You know, now that Floyd Mayweather was talking about, well, he said he's retired from boxing. He's talking about taking MMA. You look at what could be the biggest fights out there, and it's the heavyweight fights, the real biggest fights out there. You know, we've got Canelo, Golovkin. Billy Joe involved in those fights, but these are the fights these are really massive fights for the UK. You've got Anthony Joshua, Anthony Wilder, and then we've got Tyson Fury. There's three fights there to be made, and they're big fights. Every one of those are a big fight. Those two guys hold belts. Tyson's got to get his belts back, and he is the key to the puzzle, because until they fight him, they can't consider themselves to be the champion. He's the guy that took Klitschko to school. He went into the other guy's backyard, took him to school, and then Klitschko had a cracking fight with Anthony Joshua. Great for the fans, but you look at the fights and how they worked out. He did a job on Klitschko. He was going into that fight as a loser, not as a winner. And he is the man that they have to be if they want to be considered to be the true world heavyweight champion.
So Tyson, the media's here, en masse, television cameras are here. Big news, mate. You must be delighted, though, to be finally able to say, yes, I am back.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming, all the media, journalists, everybody, for showing up on this glorious day, let's just say. This took a very long time to make happen. Shout out to a couple of my sponsors, Vintage VDB Watches, Sicily.co.uk and Applied Nutrition, also All-Tight MTK Global. Yes, best hotel in London, and I were the best heavyweight in the world. The Mac is back, finally returned. Used to be Return of the Mac, now it is the Mac is back. I actually told Mr. Warren that it shouldn't be he's back, it should be the Mac is back. And we're better than my own town in Manchester to put on a show. So I'm very over the moon, and it's been, like I say, a long, complex, drawn-out situation that I'm glad's all behind me now. But the most important thing is I'm back to reclaim what is rightfully mine. And that's the world, because I hold it in my hand, right there.
Older, wiser, and with a point to prove, eh, Tyson?
Yes, a couple of years older now. By the time I return, I've probably been out of the ring about 2 years and 7 months, 8 months, is it?
Yeah.
That's going to be one of the longest comebacks in heavyweight history for a world champion. It's going to be an interesting journey, to be honest. There's a lot of challenges out there that I'm looking forward to. There's a few people out there who are claiming to be the world's best. I don't know for a fact that they're not. Given the right time, the right amount of fights, then if there's all these guys, I don't believe that they're going to be much of a matchup for me. Reason being, my speed, agility and skill will be too much for today of what we have as sluggers and wild punchers. I'm looking forward to getting in there and putting on a display. That's about it.
What sort of shape you're in now? Because I mean, at one stage you were huge, and you're obviously to some extent a shadow of what you were a few months ago.
Yeah, let's just say I'm a lot lighter than I've been in the past. I'm ready to fight. Look, if Frank said we're going to fight this weekend, I'm ready. Sparring 12 rounds, done 12 rounds yesterday, 3 different guys, 1 in, 1 out. Fit as I've ever been. People say to me, oh well, you've had 3 years out of the ring, 2.5 years out of the ring, timing, reflexes, everything. It's better than it's ever been. I kid you not. If you see me in the gym sparring, all you got to know is Achilles is back, he's here. Nothing's gone, everything's still there. 29 years old, coming into the prime of my life, I'm stronger now, faster, holding more muscle mass than I've ever done. And I'm more confident there as well. Looking at the competition out there, it should be relatively easy.
Well, let's talk about the competition then. You mentioned the sluggers and the wild punchers. I guess through those, you're talking about the 2 champions, are you?
Yeah, we've only got 2 champions now, and they're the only ones I'm talking about.
So, first of all, give us your impressions of Anthony Joshua and what you feel, where you feel he stands as the man who's holding 3 of the belts which were once yours.
Like I've described him many times, he's a big old dosser, belt carrier for me. By the time I get ready to fight, it's going to be an easy fight, no contest. He's looking for 1 punch all night. We all saw the Parker affair. Anybody who can move a little bit and throw a few feints, he struggles, he can't land on. So I have a tip for him. Here's the headline, boys. If he wants to land any punches on me, here's the tip. Get a handful of rice and throw it at me if you want to try and land anything. That's the only way he'll ever land anything on me. Apart from that, no chance.
You think you'd just outbox him?
I'll outbox him for a few rounds and then knock him out. He's not the hardest man in the world to hit. He ain't the biggest man in the world. He's a lot smaller than I am. I don't believe he holds the best shot either.
Tell us about Deontay Wilder and where you think he sits in the scheme of things.
At the minute, I think Deontay Wilder's on top of the tree, top of the pile. Reason being, he's dangerous till the last 2 seconds of the fight. As we've seen against Ortiz, he was losing the fight all the way through, and he only needs to land 1 punch. And unlike AJ, he has the agility and speed to throw him anywhere. But again, he's a bit weak round the old whiskers, and he ain't the best boxer in the world. So they're all very vulnerable and very beatable too.
And how long do you think it is before you'll be ready for those world title shots? How many warm-up fights? Maybe this is a question for Frank as well.
3 or 4 fights.
3 or 4 fights away.
Yeah. He's going to be busy. He's not going to sit around on his backside. He's going to be busy. He wants to be busy. He needs to get some rounds under his belt. As he said, it's 2 years, 7 months out the ring. He needs to get himself fighting fit. He's fit, but he needs to be fighting fit. He needs to have get that that those rounds under his belt.
Have you put a time schedule on it, Frank?
No, it'll happen. It will happen. There's no doubt it's going to happen. And I don't think we're working to anybody's agenda. All we're working towards is Tyson when he's ready. The agenda will be Tyson's agenda, not anybody else's. It's going to be his agenda, so that when he's right, when he feels he's right to go, press the button and off we go. Then we've got the hard work of putting the fight together.
And that work could be hard.
Well, it should be. I mean, there's various ways it can be done. You know, I mean, I've heard. You know, let's just look at a sort of an analogy in the States. There's fights out there that were very difficult to put together. Two TV channels got together and made them happen. The fans. This is all about the fans. It's making it happen for the fans, because at the end of the day, the people who watch it, who pay for a ticket, who pay for pay-per-view, they're the ones who want it. They're the ones who are going to make this fight happen. That's where the public demand is. And it's our job to make sure it happens. And that's really what I certainly, from my perspective, want to see. I don't want any obstacles in the way. Make it happen.
Tyson, tell us about the fans and the reaction that you've had when you've been in arenas. You know, I mean, I've seen people cheering for you when you've just been standing at ringside talking to whoever. And we've all seen those pictures of you walking down Deansgate in Manchester, seemingly with several hundred people running after you. I mean, there is a warmth there, isn't there?
There is, you know. The fans have been showing me a lot of love of late. I suppose everybody loves a good comeback story, an underdog. You know, before I was just a boxer sportsman, but I seem to, of all the trials and tribulations, I've gone into a real person. I think most people can relate to what I've been through and where I've come from and what I'm doing. And this isn't just a fight for Tyson Fury and Frank Warren and whoever puts it on the TV station. This is a fight for depression, for mental health problems. This is a fight for everything, because, as we all know, it's been no secret, it's been well publicised. I've been as low as any man can go, and as high as any man can go. And you can always overcome all these problems that one may have. And I think people can relate to that when they see me fight again. And to come back from the brink of no return to getting back to the top of the world, that's going to be a statement for mental health itself. So looking forward to that challenge.
Can you give us an idea of how you have managed to overcome those problems? I see Ben over there who's been training you. I mean, he's helped you get an enormous amount of weight off, but you know, you kind of seem as though you've got your buzz back for boxing. How have you reached that place?
To be very perfectly honest, I had no love for boxing at all. After I won all the belts, everything that went on, I didn't want to box anymore. The fire was routed. It was out for a long time, over 2 years. And it wasn't until I went over to Spain to have a bit of a jolly up with Billy Joe in a training camp that we realised. I got talking to Ben, and you know, we just gelled instantly. We wanted the same things. His style suited me, and we haven't looked back. I invited him to come and stay at my house, and he's been there ever since. About 5 months later. But you know, we've been working very, very, very hard, 7 days a week, eating right, sleeping right, training right, doing a lot of talking, and it's a great relationship. You know, I think that's what I needed. I needed that new spark, someone with a passion a young person with a passion to achieve big goals himself, and that's where we are today with it all.
And somebody to understand you.
100%. Look, you can have the best trainer in the world, but if you don't get on, or you're not gelling, then you're not going to get results. And that's the thing.
How frustrating has it been sitting on the sidelines and seeing, let's name names, Anthony Joshua, 3 times in the last year, selling out stadiums, 70, 80,000 people watching on each occasion. How frustrating has it been to you, thinking, I should be a part of that?
It hasn't been frustrating, to be very fair. I just got to congratulate the family. He's done very well. I'm not, to say, I've been envious or whatever. I'm not a jealous person. I wish everybody well, and hope he makes 10 times more money than he's already got, and I hope he sells 1 million tickets when he fights. It's not been frustrating at all. I give up my belts. They wasn't stripped off me. I voluntarily give them up because I had bigger fish to fry. which was my own health and well-being. Now I'm back, it's up to me now to get it all back, isn't it? I willingly give it up, and I'm willingly going to get it all back again. So it hasn't been frustrating, it's been exciting. I've had many good Saturday nights watching the fella. He's an exciting fighter, and can't wait to get it now and prove that I am still the best, even after all this time out.
And how confident are you that you can avoid, if you like, putting your foot in it, as happened on occasion after you became champion first time around? I guess with a bit of help from the team that you're with.
Let me put in what exactly?
Well, some of the things that you've said which courted publicity and got publicity, which I guess, with the benefit of hindsight, you might have chosen not to have gone there.
Listen, the past is in the past. I'm not here to talk about the past. What happened yesterday is history. And let's look forward to tomorrow and today.
And I think also, and I haven't been there, been on the inside, I think there's a lot of negativity in the past. That's gone. We're not negative people, we're forward-thinking people. You know, we're in the business of making this happen. But don't want all that negative. You know, people don't like me, I hate this, that. That's gone. I know that better than anybody. I don't know if anybody see the interview Tyson did on BT when he was out for the Billy Joe fight. I mean, for me, it was a brilliant interview, and you got the real one. You got the real Tyson Fury there. It was just a great interview, and that's the way forward. The rest of it is in the past. It's all about focus, living in the now, with hopefully making that the future is going to be for him is going to be great, and that's really what he's all got.
And absolutely confident that there's massive interest. I mean, the fact that there's so many media people here today.
You know, it's a funny thing. People come back, and I don't mean this as a sort of a comparison, but you know, Muhammad Ali, when he was forced to stop fighting, he wasn't a popular man in the States at that time. When he came back through the stance that he made through not going to Vietnam and so forth, he come back as a hero, certainly to the younger generation. I think with Tyson, I think he'd be more, and I don't mean like a Ali, but I think he's a more popular person now. You see him, like you mentioned earlier, he goes to the fights, he gets around it. Walking down Deansgate, there was a couple of thousand people behind him. So, he's been there, and he said it himself, he's been to rock bottom. There's nothing worse than feeling bad about yourself. There's nothing worse than having a mental problem that makes you, and he said in the past that you wonder whether you even want to be here. That must be a terrible position to get yourself from. So he's fought his way back from there now, and it shows you the type of character he is. And now he's going to move on and hopefully get back. And I believe he can get back what he can do, in the ring when his belt's back. But he's had bigger things than boxing to worry about, and he's come through those. He's done it great. He's shown what a man he is and what strength he is. And people relate to that, because it doesn't matter who you are, how much of a brave face people put on. Everybody has problems. Everybody, I don't care who they are, they all have a problem somewhere in their life, and some people can't deal with them. He's dealt with it, or he should say he's dealing with it, and that you've got to take your hat off to him, and hopefully, as I say, he'll come through and achieve his ambition to regain his titles.